Background we have the story of Vrtraasura. The Asura who was created by his own father, Tvashta, because of the loss of his son, Vishwarupa. Vishwarupa was the Asura who had helped the Devatas to regain their Svarga and other lokas from the Asuras. And he had advised them Narayana Kavacha, which we saw, and such a great devotee of the Lord with Vishwarupa was unfortunately siding towards the Asura also because of his lineage through his mother, right? We saw all that. And then Indra had no other choice other than to finish Vishwarupa, although Vishwarupa acted like the guru in their case in the place of Brihaspati, right? And we also saw why Brihaspati had to leave the Devatas during that time. So all the stories we saw. And Brihaspati had to leave because of the conduct or misconduct of the Devatas. And then Brahmaji advised for Vishwarupa to help them. All this, or the story background, I just thought I'll share with you. Now we are in a situation where Tvashta, who is the father of Vishwarupa, who is also an Aditya, one of the 12 Adityas, Tvashta, Rupe, Pratibudhyashyatu. It's a Veda mantra also for Tvashta. So that Tvashta is very upset with the loss of Vishwarupa, and he is creating Vrtraasura. He will destroy all your anybody's mind and everything with his form, and he was swallowing away everything, all the words and everything. Luckily, the Devatas' sense of devotion prevailed, and they are, on the advice of rishis, they are praying to Bhagavan Narayana. And this is a section where we are seeing the prayers, very nice prayers. So if the Devatas had to pray, for what they want, what to talk about you and us, you and me, right? So prayer has got its own effect. Prayer is also a karma. A prayer can be in the form of a puja, which is kaikam predominantly, or it can be in the form of stuti, like we're going to see here by the Devatas towards Bhagavan, which is vachikam karma, vachikam prarthana, or it can be a manasikam prarthana also. It can be mental. You can use your mind, dhyanam, meditation, which is predominantly mental. See, when we say predominantly, that's important because in all these three types of prarthanas or prayers, kayikam, vachikam, manasam, there is an involvement of your other indriyas also, both the karmendriya, the organs of action such as your limbs and legs and back. You have to keep straight your back, for example, right? During meditation. Is that a kayikam karma or is it a manasikam karma? It is a kayikam karma. Then you have to do your pranayama before meditation, say. Is it a kayikam karma or a pranic karma, or is it a vachikam karma? It is a pranayama. So which is one of those five pranas, or you're activating all those pranas. It's a separate set of karma. So all these are involved. So here, when you do all that, you will have the same benefit as the Devatas had here. If Devatas who have got all the powers, what cannot Indra accomplish? What cannot Varuna accomplish? What cannot the Surya Bhagavan accomplish? Still they're all here, gathered to pray, which means what? Prayer has got its result also. That is my point. So this should help us to make us more prayerful. We're all praying. Now this would help us to become more prayerful in every situation which we are undergoing. So let us look at the prayer verses here from 33 onwards, which is in the 6th canto, and the 9th chapter, 6, 9, 33. Just expanding it for everybody can see that. So Devatas are saying this. Om Namaste Stu Bhagavan Narayana Vasudeva Adipurusha Mahapurusha Mahanubhava Parama Mangala Parama Kalyana Parama Karunika Kevala Jagadadhara Lokaikanatha Sarveshwara Lakshminatha Paramahamsa Parivrajakaihi Paramena Atma Yoga Samadhina Paribhavita, Parisputa, Parahamsya, Dharmena, Uda, Ghatita, Tamah Kapata Dware, Chitte, Abhavrate, Atmaloke, Swayam, Upalabdha, Nija, Sukha, Anubhavo, Bhavam, Bhavan, Anubhavaha, Bhavan. So when I read this verse, as you can see, it is not a poetical verse. It's a prose verse. Means what? The Devatas doesn't even, are unable to even bring up a song to praise the Lord. They're only coming with all the different names. You can create a Sahasranama. You can at least create a Nama you can at least create a Namavali with 15, 20 names from this list. Namaste to you, O Lord. Astu, may Namaste be to you, unto you. Om, who is in the form of Omkara. Omkaraya Namaha. Bhagavan, Bhagavate Namaha. Narayana, Narayanaya Namaha. Vasudeva, Vasudevaya Namaha. Like that, you can create a Namavali based on many of the shlokas in Bhagavatam. O Lord, who's Bhagavan means he's got all the Aishwarya, Shadaishwarya. Who is Bhagavan? Who can you call Bhagavan? You can call Bhagavan someone who has got Bhaga. Like if somebody has got Dhana, you call him what? Dhanavan. If someone has got Buddhi, that is also wealth. Only in our religion we say Buddhi is also wealth. That is why we are saying not Buddhiman, not Dhanavan, like that, not Buddhivan, we say Buddhiman. One who's got Buddhi is Buddhiman. Likewise, one who has got Bhaga is Bhagavan. So what is Bhaga? All the Aishwarya of Ishita, Sashita, Vairagya, Jnana, Kirti, Yasha, right? All these Aishwaryas in full measures. You also have those Aishwaryas, by the way. We have in limited measures. Bhagavan is one who has all of this in full measure. So when you say Bhagavan, when you say Bhagavan, you have to see if these Aishwaryas are listed in there. Hey Narayana, hey Vasudeva, Vasati, the Devata who is inside all of us. We are all having Devata within us. So that is Vasudeva. That name is Vasudeva. Adi Purusha. Adi Purusha is what? The Bhagavan who is the very first. Adihi Asau Purusha. He is the first and he is what is first? First is Purusha, consciousness. Means something, when you talk about science, what would science say? Adi is what? According to science, Adi is maybe a Anu, maybe those particles. Adi is beginning. So according to science, the beginning is particles, even finer particles, even finer particles. They are trying to make instruments which can kind of zoom in and zoom in and bring out more and more out of those particles. So that is the Adi for science. According to us, Adi is Purusha. Adi is Bhagavan. Bhagavan in the unmanifest form. Bhagavan as consciousness. So that means what? We are all from that Adi. Whatever came from the Adi should also have the nature of consciousness. If you say the Adi is inert, say according to science, if the Adi is inert, then what happens is, what will end up being our nature is also inertness, which is not the case. You are conscious, you are listening, your senses are functioning, your mind is functioning. You're unlike the table. You're unlike even the computer. You're unlike anything else in your place. So, which is what? Your consciousness. So, Adi Purusha, that is Bhagavan Narayana. Mahanubhava. Mahanubhava is the title we give for elders, people who have got great experience, who can give you great experience. Mahanubhava. Parama Mangala. What else you care for in your life? You care for more and more Mangalam, more and more Kalyanam. This word Mangalam, Kalyanam, Pragati, Prapti, Unnati, progress. What do you want is progress. Progress is Kalyanam. That is why wedding is called Kalyanam in a religion, because wedding is a progress, next stage in your life. So that is Bhagavan, who is Parama Mangalam, who is the ultimate progress, ultimate auspiciousness. Parama Kalyana. Parama Karunika is also, just because Bhagavan is all auspiciousness, all Mangalam, all Kalyanam, he doesn't sit there holding it on to himself. Out of his compassion, he opens the doors. He opens the doors of the ocean of compassion to flow towards you. That is what Parama Karunika. Kevala, only Bhagavan can be like this. Kevala Jagadadhara is the one and only cause for the one and only Adhara, one and only substantial for this entire creation. Pujya Swamiji uses the word substantial for Adhara. I don't think there's any better word. People can do a lot of Vedanta class and all that, but they don't use the word Adhara as substantial. They use base, they use substratum, all this, they use projection, they use superimposition, and all those words, complicated words. But Adhara, the Mula, Karana, the material is Bhagavan. Adhara is a material, and he is the one and only material. How? Just like in your dream, your consciousness is the one and only material for all the dream objects, for all the dream objects to be projected by the mind, likewise. Lokaika Natha is a Natha, Apat Bandhava, is Sarveshwara, Lakshmi Natha. So he is not by, as a Devata, as a Bhagavan, he is not just by himself. He is always with his other side, Lakshmi. And we saw in one of the verses before last week that Bhagavan came to the Devatas. Now, Bhagavan is in front of the Devatas. So this stuti which the Devatas are doing, they are doing in front of the Lord. The Lord has come in front of them. And he is standing and listening to all of this. And as you saw in the last week, the Lord has also come with 16 of his Parshadas. 16 of his servants who all look similar. You cannot distinguish between those 16 Dutas of Vishnu who had come with Vishnu and Vishnu. There's no difference, by the way. You cannot looking at them, it's looking at Vishnu Bhagavan only. But the only difference which was pointed out to us in the last week was Bhagavan Narayana has a Kaustuba Mani, a necklace with the Kaustuba Mani, a pendant Kaustuba Mani. And Bhagavan Narayana also has got in his heart, he has got Mahalakshmi in the form of a golden rekha, golden line. So that was the only difference. So Bhagavan is always with Lakshmi ji, Lakshmi Natha, Paramahamsa Parivrajakahi. By those Paramahamsa Parivrajakahi, those sannyasis, those sadhus, those Virakta Purusha, those Mahatmas, Paramena Atma Yoga Samadhina, when they have given up everything else, but they have taken up to Samadhi, then what is that? Paribhavita, Parisputa, Para, Hamsya, Dharmena, Udghatita, Tamaf. Then what Bhagavan does? He removes all the tamaha. He removes all the ignorance in those Mahatmas, in those devotees, in those sadhus, and he presents himself. That kind of a Bhagavan. The Devatas are having the Pratyaksha Darshana of Narayana. But the Mahatmas, they are always having the Darshana of Narayana in the form of their Samadhi Yoga given by the Lord. Chitta. In that Mahatma, Aphavrita, Atmaloke, Swayam, Upalabdha, Nija, Sukhanubhave, Bhavan, you are, what is the experience of the Mahatmas? The Mahatmas' experience is not just Bhagavan in the form of a Chaturbhuja Narayana within. Their experience is in the form of Atma Sukha, in the form of the Sukha, which is the of a sukha, which is their own, they are as though they are the source of the sukha. That is the kind of anubhava Mahatma has got. But they know it is Bhagavan who is the source of all the sukha. It is their mind associated with Bhagavan and becoming one that way is the cause for that sukha. So, and they hold on to that sukha. So, this is how the Devatas are praising in this 33rd shloka. It's a long shloka. So, I had to tell you so much of details because it's nice to know the tatparya of all these names of Bhagavan. Durava Bodha Iva. Again, some more prose verses. We're going to see some prose verses and then only one or two poetry verses towards the end of this class because most of these verses are prose. Durava Bodha Iva. Tava ayam vihara yogaha yad asharanaha ashira asharira idam anavekshita smat samavaya atmana eva avikriyamanena sagunam agunaha srujati pasi harasi. This Lord who is so difficult to comprehend. You know what is comprehending? Comprehending means if suppose if you are given a story or if you are given a paragraph, if you are reading that paragraph, then you have to comprehend the paragraph. Suppose if you are given the commentary of Shankaracharya, Shankaracharya is writing a prose commentary, and then you read the commentary. You have to comprehend. That is avabodha. What is the intent of the author? What is he trying to say? That is avabodha. That is why Sanskrit is a language where it is all about reading and reading comprehension. Because all the Mahatmas, like these verses are already there. So it's all that we have to do is understand these verses with a commentary. And here, who is a commentator for you? I am the commentator for you. It doesn't matter in which language I'm commentating. What matters is you grasp the tatparya, durava bodha, eva, tava ayam vihara yoga. So it is very difficult to comprehend Bhagavan because what? Bhagavan is apart from everything, is beyond everything. He is standing apart. Sometimes in your house also, there are people who are so wise and you find it very difficult to comprehend them. It looks as though sometimes they are taking this side, as though sometimes they're encouraging you and sometimes they're discouraging you. Sometimes they're encouraging somebody else who you don't like and all that. So that is why Bhagavan is standing apart and is taking care of everything. And he has got Asharanaha. Bhagavan is free from taking refuge in anything material. Asharira is free from any forms also. Idam anavekshita. It is not, you cannot see Bhagavan in a form. In the sense what? Mahatmas have seen Bhagavan in the form, but it is very difficult to see Bhagavan always, standing in front of you while driving, while looking at somebody else as though Bhagavan is there. No. So Bhagavan is beyond all forms. That's what the tatparya. Atmana eva avikriyamanena sagunam. Just by yourself, Bhagavan, you are free from all gunas, agunaha, but you have created this whole world with so much gunas. What a variety. What a mesmerizing creation. Hrijasi, you created. Pasi, and you are also protecting. Harasi, and you also take back the entire creation. Bhagavan can take back the entire creation also. Oh Lord, how are you able to do this? We are unable to comprehend because you are essentially free from all forms. You don't care for any gunas. You are gunatita, but you're able to accomplish all this. Ata tatra bhavan kim devadatta vada iha. So they're trying to understand now Bhagavan. Who? The Devatas. Nicely they are bringing up this their thoughts in the form of these verses. Ata tatra bhavan kim devadatta vada iha guna visarga patitaha paratantriyena swakrita kushala akushalam phala mupadadati. Ahosvite atmarama upashama shilaha samanjasa darshana udasta iti havava navidamaha. Devatas are saying, I don't know how we are able to do this, Lord. Lord is in front of them. Lord, because Lord has to respond to all of this. Finally, Lord has to help them protect from the Asura, Vrtraasura. That is going to be Lord's message. When we're going to come next week and see what Bhagavan Narayana is going to say, he is straight into the business. He is not sitting and taking all these praises and asking them to do some more stuti. He right away goes to the point. He says, what is the action plan to destroy Vrtraasura? Vrtraasura happens to be a great devotee of Bhagavan also. That dilemma we'll see when we come next week. But here the Devatas, once they saw Bhagavan, they forgot all the problems. I have seen some people who go to Mahatma to ask for something and they forget what they want to ask because they are overwhelmed by the presence of the Mahatma. So likewise here, Devatas have forgotten the purpose of even asking Bhagavan to come, and they're asking Bhagavan, how is this possible, Bhagavan? Are you like one of those jiva? Who is the jiva? Jiva is somebody like you and me. What does the jiva do? The jiva creates out of his own limited capacity. He brings things together, he puts it together as a group. The jivas come together as a group sometimes and put together. So are you like a jiva created the whole world like that? No? And then are you present in this world? How are you present in this world, Lord? Because if everything is from the Lord, if Bhagavan created, if Bhagavan protects, and Bhagavan takes back. So when he's taking back, where else can he take back? Only within himself. So it has to come out of him also. So Lord, if that is the case, how are you present in this creation? Are you present like Devadatta, one of the persons? Or are you present and then if you are present as one of the persons like Devadatta, what is the problem? The problem is, are you also undergoing karma like all of us? In that case, where are you? How are you experiencing this karma? Or ahosvita means or. Ahosvita is the word in Sanskrit for or, va, else. But it's a longer word. It's a mouthful. Ahosvita, Atma Rama. Or are you standing apart? You have created everything and you're within the creation at the same time standing apart from the creation. Samanjasa darshana with a vision. Oh Lord, you're seated with a vision which is equal to everybody. You're seeing everything as your own Atma. Udasta, at the same time you stand apart. How is this possible, Lord? How are you present in this creation? The Devatas want to experience Bhagavan and then through all that they're experiencing within the creation. Nahi virodhe ubhayam bhagavati apariganita gunagane ishvare anavagahyam anavagahya mahatmye arvachina vikalpa vitarka vichara pramana bhasa kutarka shastra kalilanta karana kalilanta karanashraya dur avagraha vadinam vivada anavasara uparata samasta mayamaye kevala yeva atma maya mantardhaya kaha navartaha durghata idya bhavati swarupadvaya abhavat. Bhagavan, you got swarupa can be only one. If you go through all the waves, the swarupa of all the waves is only one, water. So likewise, since the Swarupa cannot be two, or maybe it is all because you have the power, oh Lord, the Maya Shakti. Only way we can explain is Bhagavan, you have that Shakti to be this and also that. You can come as an avatara, and experience all that we experience like a jiva, like a Ramavatara. I'm saying Ramavatara because Rama Navami is coming. Chaitra Navaratri and Rama Navami is coming. Rama was like this explanation in this shloka. He was like a jiva, a manushya. Because Valmiki is asking Narada Rishi, hey Narada, I want someone who is dharmagnya, who's got all the knowledge of dharma at the same time, who is kushala shila, who is very effective in relating with all the people. I want that Lord. I want that Manushya who is both, who's got the beautiful form of a Devata, but at the same time is a Manushya. So who is that person who is now in this world or who has been in the past? Tell me about a person like that. Who is asking? Valmiki is asking. And Narada is saying, Shruno, very difficult to find one person like that. I can talk to you about Devatas who are like that. But you're asking for a person, and that person is Ikshvaku Tilaka. Ikshvaku Tilaka, Sri Ramchandra Bhagavan. So that is a very nice conversation between Valmiki and Narada in the very beginning. So which means what? Bhagavan can be a Manushya, he can be a Devata, he can be a Jnani Purusha, Mahatma. At the same time, he can be in the unmanifest form, free from all those different things also. Bhagavati, Pariganita, Ishvare, Avagahya. But then what do we do? Not we. Here we are doing a very mimamsa. We are doing a very respectful inquiry about the Lord's form. But generally, people end up saying, without knowing Bhagavan's Mahima, Mahatmya, Arvachina, Aduna, the current people, who are the current people mentioned here? Adhunika. Adhunika means who are at present, who are claiming to know Shastra without even studying Shastra, or even better, even worse, sorry, who claim that there is no need for Shastra. We have people like that because they don't know Shastra. We have people who say there's no need for devotion. Why? Because they have never been a devotee. We have people who say there is no need for a guru. Why? Because they never had a guru. So these are the modern neo-Vedanti people. Okay, these are the people who are neo-Vedantis, who think they got the Shastra and then they're presenting because they never have a background of devotion. They never had a background of puja, paddhati and all that. So what do they say about Ishvara? Vikalpa, Vitarka. They got all wrong. They got it all wrong. Vitarka. Tarka means to argue and present. Vitarka means totally lost by wrong arguments. Vitarka, Vichara, Pramana, Bhasa, Krita. And they use wrong Pramana also. They take up some Upanishad, some latest and greatest, they say, about some text, and say, according to text, you have to only chant. You don't have to do anything else. Where did they get the idea? They will show one small section. Whereas we have the entire Upanishads. We're talking about understanding and appreciating Shravana, Mana, Nididhyasana, Atmavare, Kartavya, Bhoktavya, Vididhyasatavya. Like that, there's a lot of ways we are understanding, trying to understand. Puja Swamiji would say, there are some people who claim they don't have a guru, and going to them, he said, he feels very pathetic. People who go to people who don't have guru. And then it's a disaster, he would say. So we have people like Vitarka, Avika, Avichara, Pramana, Bhasa, Krita, Kutarka. Kutarka means all wrong arguments, silly arguments. Shastra, Kalila, Antahkarana, Kutarka Shastra, Kalila Antahkarana. Their mind is all clouded. Ashraya, they're taking refuge to such kind of a mind, and then they're unable to grasp, so they miss the whole point. That is what the Devatas are saying. So I don't want to go to the whole all the rest of the lines in the shloka, but you got the message. So let us see what the Devatas want to say in the next shloka, 37. Usually I don't dwell so long in one shloka, but here it's all in prose, so it's all long slokas. Prose means all these words we have to explain. So that is what I'm trying to do. 37th shloka. Sama vishama madhina matha manusarasi yatha rajju khandaha sarpadi diyam. When you see a rope, but if you don't know a rope, you do all sorts of projection. Likewise, these people who don't know the Lord, who don't know Bhagavan, who don't know the Shastra, they do all sorts of wrong projections like someone does on the top of a rope without knowing it is rope. The solution of the problem is to know, try to know the rope. But they are only worried about all the projections. Oh, could it be a mala? Could it be a streak of water? Could it be a stick? And could it be a snake? Of course, that is the main problem. So they're working, they're only arguing about this. Somebody is saying, no, it's a snake. Somebody is saying, no, it's a rope. So these people, they create a religion out of that also, a school out of that also. Because it is a snake, it can only be a snake. You follow our religion of fear. We put fear in your minds and whatnot and things like that. Some people say because it's a mala, you don't think about it, you just enjoy it, you just experience, don't use your mind, you be a devotee without taking up to Shastra, and that is another school of thought. I'm just making a story out of this, but this is how people are so confused because all that they need to know is that it is rope. Then all those religions, all that they project upon that will all crumble and fall. The efforts, you can save your effort by knowing what it is really for. Sayeva hi punaha sarvavastuni vastu swarupaha sarveshwaraha sakala jagat karana bhutaha sarva pratyaya sarva pratyaya atmatvat sarva gunabhasa upalakshita eka eva paryavasheshita. So Lord Saha Eva Hi Punaha Sarva Vastuni Vastuswara. The Vastutva, like Puja Swamiji says, the substantial is the Vastutva. The substantial is the word for Vastutva, Vastuswarupaha. What is the Vastuswarupa of all the waves? Water. Vastuswarupa of all of us is Paramatma in the form of consciousness, who is Sarveshwaraha, who is the Ishvara of everybody. Sarvam Sakala Jagat Karana. Sakala Jagat Karana is who? Brahmaji. He is the Karana of Brahma also. Karana Bhutaha. Sarva Pratyaga. It is beyond all comprehensions. That doesn't mean it's not available. You can see that. Atmavatvat. Because he's in the form of you, in the form of your own Swarupa. So that is why if you try to objectify him with your mind, the Lord, that's not going to work. Sarva guna bhasa upalakshita. So where do you want to experience that Lord? Where do you want to experience Paramatma? It says sarva guna bhasa upalakshita. When you're experiencing the world, because he is vastu of all the vastus, because he is the only substantial, you are experiencing the Lord only. Just like suppose if you discover all the waves of water, oh Lord, the water is like the Lord for the waves, and you decide, I want to experience the water, and then you sit and close your eyes and pray, oh, make me experience the water. Water is a Lord for all the waves. Is that the way? You have to see whenever you touch with the wave, inside the wave, outside the wave, on the wave, besides the wave, okay, under the wave, above the wave, it is water only. So that is the understanding. That is the appreciation of the Lord also. You are, as a devotee, never separate from the Lord. This is the understanding of your devotion. What is the understanding of your devotion? As an individual, You are not separate from the total, which is Ishvara, which is the substantial, which includes your own body, mind, senses. Don't exclude that. So then you are a permanent devotee. You're not a morning only devotee. You're not an evening only devotee. You're not a devotee only when you say something, right? You're not a devotee only when you go to temple. So that is a connection between you and the Lord, which the Devatas are bringing out so nicely. Ataha vava tava mahima amrita rasa samudra viprusha sakrud avalidya Swamanasi nishyandamana anavarata sukhena vismarita drishta shruta vishaya sukha lesha bhasaha parama bhagavata ekantinaha Bhagavati Sarvabhuta Priya Suhridi Sarvatmani Nitaram Nirantaram Nirvrita Manasaha Katamu Hava Yete Madhumathana Punaha Swartha Kushala Yatma Priya Surdaha Sadhavaha Twat Charana Ambuja Anusevam Visarjanti Nayatra Punarayam Samsara Paryavartaha. I am pausing because I want to do the proper sandhi. As I'm reading the words, I'm splitting the words and then making sense of the words so that the Sanskrit words are making sense. So that is why I'm pausing, because it's a prose verse. So what is being told in this long verse in crux, in essence is so your mahima, your amrita rasa, you are flowing it. The ocean of compassion, you are Bhagavan, and we are experiencing that. We are experiencing whatever we are experiencing through our eyes, through our ears, through our senses, and whatever we are hearing also, and in all those experiences through the different objects, the sukha lesha, the little happiness which we are getting, that is from your own ocean of happiness and compassion flowing towards us. Parama Bhagavata Ekantinaha Bhagavati, and these Bhagavatas, Sarvabhuta Priya Suhridi, Sarvatmani, Nitaram, Nirantaram, and that is happiness flowing through all the Bhagavatas also, who have understood the Lord. Hey Madhusudana, Punaha Swartha Kushala, Hi Atma Priya Suhridaha, Sadavaha, Charanambuja Sevanam Visarjanti Nayatra Puna. So they're saying we are unable to take our eyes off your feet, Lord. Such a Lord. Bhagavan is huge in front of them. They can only see Bhagavan's feet that look like that to see the Lord. So that way they are saying we are unable to take our eyes off your feet. We are always, ever we want to be like this, our head bent towards you. Paryavartaha. You may take the samsara out of us. Tribhuvana, Atma, Bhavana, Trivikrama, Trinayana, Triloka, Manoharanubhava, Tava eva, Vibhutayaha, Diti, Vibhutayaha, Diti Jadanujadhayaschapi, Tesham Anupakram Samayaha, Ayamiti, Swatma Mayaya, Sura Nara Sriga Mishrita Jalachara Akritibihi Yatha Aparadham Dandadhara Dadharta Evamenam Api Bhagavach Jahi Twashtra Mutha Yadi Manyase. Finally, they are coming to the point. Twashtra is Vrtraasura. Bhagavan, you're such a Lord. If you think this has to be taken care of, this problem we have at hand, which is in the form of Vrtraasura. Hey Lord, if you think that this Vrtraasura has to be taken care of, may you do so. It is up to you, because you have measured the entire world with your 3 steps. Trivikrama, and then Trinayana. You are the leader. You are the leader. You're a leader for us. Triloka Manohara Anubhava. You are the happiness which is in and through all these experiences and all that. So you decide, Bhagavan. If you think para, you are also dandam dandadara. You are the one who is also the. See, when Bhagavan Ramchandra was told that he has got the same vision towards both the Devatas and Asuras, towards the Asuras and Manushyas, then there's a dilemma. How can the Lord have the same vision? Because here in this slokas also, he is being presented as the creator. Creator means what? He has created everybody, including the Asuras. So, but then it is very clear he has created according to the karma. The karma has to manifest. And that is what we seek. Before anybody dies, that person, he seeks that, he only thinks of all the omissions and commissions, all the hurt and guilt, what he could have done, what he couldn't do, including, say, sometimes about Shastra. Why could have spent more time studying Shastra and whatnot. So all these are the desires. And the karma is also there where you have worked towards your desires. It can be Shastra desire. It can be desire to earn money. It can be desire to go to some place and be more comfortable and all that. So with this, all these wishes and all the works, this person goes away. Then Bhagavan has to give a new shape and form to make that person manifest again and accomplish what he wants to accomplish. So in that way, Asuras are also created based on that. It is not Bhagavan's fault. But then once they are created, they are also like his children. So he's got a same vision. Ramchandra is saying too, because we are also coming towards the end of this class in the next few minutes, I want to say a little bit of Ramayana also. Ramchandra Bhagavan is there and is looking at Ravana and saying, "Hey Ravana," towards the end of the war, Ravana he has lost all his weapons and he is just there, Riktapani, hands without any weapons, and he's looking at Rava and thinking that is the end of his life. But Rama says, Ravana, you look very tired. You need some rest. And you need somebody to massage you. Your arms and legs are so tired, so sore. So go today and come back tomorrow. Take some rest, have some good meal, and have your servants press your feet and legs and feel very relaxed and come back tomorrow. So that way Rama was kind, trying to be kind even to Ravana. He was never upset with anybody. So what I'm trying to ask is, if that Rama Bhagavan was like that, then how is he going to even punish? Because here, finally these Devatas are wanting Bhagavan Narayana to become the Danda Daraha, the one who is dispensing the punishment according to somebody's karma, to become that. They want the Lord to become that towards Vrtraasura. So if the Asuras are also devotees, if Asuras are also praying to Bhagavan to be victorious, what will the Lord do? How will he be equal to all of them? He'll be equal to all of them. One kid asked me in one of those session I give for kids, is the Lord Bhagavan good for even the bad? Very small question he asked. Would Bhagavan be good for even the bad? In America, that is the way they ask. Can he be good for the bad also? I right away, without even thinking, of course, Bhagavan made me think for a second. Told, yes, Bhagavan can be the good even for the bad. But then I added, only thing the bad may not be able to see that. Okay, I told that. Like, for example, the cops, in general, we see that cops are trying to be good or right, to have the same, vision towards everybody. But who is so disturbed? It is not the person who has got his license and registration and insurance and who is driving within the speed limit. He is not the one who is bothered. In fact, he is being reassured when he sees the cop on the side, especially when he's driving in the night. all alone in some freeways in the US, you will be driving, you will be the only person driving in the night. There's nobody else is driving. So then you're at least happy to see, okay, some cop car is there and he's, if something happens to my tires or wheels, I can, somebody will come within no time to come and, help me and all that. But at the same time, if this driver is driving with an expired license and is driving in a stolen car, all right? So he's the one who's going to be disturbed. So the cops are same for everybody, but it depends on who you are to feel how safe you are versus how, unsafe you are, basically. So that was my answer to that kid. But even better answer is Bhagavan will make even the bad good. That way is equal to everybody. I mean, this is another answer. It doesn't have to be a better answer. The another way of looking at it is Bhagavan is going to be equal to everybody, including the asuras. And how is he going to be equal to the asuras? He's going to be equal to the asuras by making the asuras first good, having them change their mind, change their heart. What you and I cannot accomplish is changing the mind of somebody, changing the heart of somebody. That Bhagavan can accomplish. In that way, you will accomplish that, and then there's no problem in being equal to everybody. So, asmakam tavakanam, tava nathanam, tata patamaha, tava charana nalina, yugala, dhyana, anubadha, hridaya, nigadanam, Swalinga Vivaranena Atmasat Krita Kritanam Anukampanusar Ranjita Vishada Ruchira Shishirasmitava Lokena Asmitava Avalokena Nigalita Madhura Mukha Rasa Amrta Kalaya Cha Antastapa Manadha Antastapa Anaghar Hasi Shamayitum. So they are saying, Devatas are saying, oh Lord, please, you remove our samsara with your smile, with your presence, right? You are our father, you are our grandfather, you are our great-grandfather. And we are always, we cannot even take our eyes. We are connected to you in that way. We are unable to take your eyes from your feet. What to talk about your form. So, you please, they're also giving him ideas. He says, Shamayidam, if there is something wrong with us, because of which we deserve this kind of a treatment from Vrtraasura, may you forgive us. And may you be the compassionate one with your smile. Take away our worries, our samsara. Okay. So likewise, there are still longer slokas. Actually, I thought of doing more slokas, but I think there's a lot of, it's a good dose of Bhagavad Tattva, very good dose of Bhagavad Tattva we've seen so far. And I'll reserve rest of the slokas for next week. By the way, as I'm scrolling, you can see some more slokas where the Devatas are saying. Then as you can see here, Sri Shuka Uvacha, and then Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. So Bhagavan is, when you come back next week, Bhagavan is going to give them the idea. For the first time, you will come to know why the Astra of Indra is Vajra. What is the weapon in Indra's hand? The weapon in Indra's hand is Vajra, the lightning thunderbolt. How powerful that weapon is. Who gave the idea for that weapon? What is the story behind that odd weapon? It is unlike a sword, unlike a shield, unlike a disc or a mace. गदा नहीं है, चक्र नहीं है, वो वज्र है. वो कैसा अस्त्र है वज्र? What is the power of the vajra? What is the rishi? Who is the rishi behind the power of that astra? It is not an astra made of any ordinary material. It is made out of the bones of a rishi. One rishi, you will see the highest sacrifice a rishi is going to make for the sake of the Devasura Yuddha. He is going to sacrifice his own bones for the sake of that, based on the plan, scheme, which was which was in the manifesto of Sri Bhagavan Narayana himself. So all that we'll see when we come back. So some more stuti shlokas when we come back, and then story continues about the plan to destroy Vrtraasura. Hari Om. We'll stop here, and please remember the verse where we have stopped. Many times I myself forget that. So we have stopped at the verse number 41, all right? So we'll start from 42. Atha. Atha is a very good way to start when we come back next week. So at this point, I'll stop here, and then there's one. It's only 6:30 here in India, which is another half an hour for you. But I'll just continue with the Krishna Leela for a few more minutes. I'll stop sharing the screen. And then the Leela, which I'm doing as a parallel track, along with the Bhagavatam, is Krishna Leela, Bala Mukunda Krishna's Leela, the Leela of Krishna as a kid. And then we have been seeing the Leela of Ukkala Bandhana, where Bhagavan Sri Krishna is going to be tied by a rope. He's going to be called Damodara because of that rope around his waist. But then at this point, the mother is coming back when she's seeing all the broken parts all over. And first concern is what? What will be the first concern of the mother when she walks into a room and she sees the whole room is in a big mess? Or when she walks into the kitchen and sees the whole kitchen is in a big mess with all the items poured on the floor, on the sink and everywhere like that. The mother's first concern is, how did this happen? For a second, but right away our concern is also, where is my kid? What has happened to him? So likewise, Yashoda is looking around for Krishna. What happened to Krishna? What happened to Krishna? Where is he? Where is my Bala? Where is my Lala? Likewise, she's looking. But the Krishna was having the guilt of doing something too much, of being a person who has been little too mischievous, little too naughty, right? Little too, too kind of too troublesome. So he is nowhere around. So what the Shastras are saying, when we look at this Leela, we have been seeing at different sections of the Leela and trying to have the vision of Mahatmas, vision of Bhaktas pour into all those sections. So in this small section where Krishna Bhagavan is running away from the scene, right? Ranchod Rai hai wo bhag jata hai. You'll do something and you'll run away from the scene. Okay, as though he never had anything to do with that. So that shows, even if he's the Lala, even if he's Bhagavan, he had as an avatara Purusha, as this little child, he had the strong desire of being fed by the mother. Doodh ke liye lalsa. For the sake of the milk, he was so upset when the mother walked away from him without completing the feeding, right? So when there is a kama, when there is a desire, especially a binding desire, Pujya Swamiji's words are very important. Otherwise, you'll all listen Vedantas, people saying desires are the problem and all that. I'm sorry. We had to many times undo the Vedanta which has happened and then redo the Vedanta. So better, I want you to spend meaningful time on this kind of Vedanta. So binding desires, when the binding desires are there, then what happens is, and when those desires does not get fulfilled, kama becomes krodha. Kama means binding desires. That desires which are upsetting you, that desires which when it is not fulfilled by the others, which creates hurt in you. We are only worried about those desires, okay? All right, so hurt. He felt hurt, krodha. But he was being fed by the mother. But still, after being fed, he wanted more, lobha, the greed. Kids are like that. Kids don't know when to stop. Sometimes the kids are eating, they don't know when to stop. You have to tell them, hey, enough. If you eat more than this, you'll get upset, stomach upset. Then they're upset also. Before the stomach gets upset, they get upset. Hey, how can you say no to me? So that lobha, that moha, I want more. The exaggerated value for something, I want more, give me more. Wealth is not a problem, but the exaggerated value, the extra importance you have on the wealth at the cost of dharma, that is a problem. Like this, Bhagavan wanted more. So he had the binding desire, kama. He had the lobha for more. He had the moha. He thought that is if I don't get the milk, that's it. That is the end of the world for him. Moha was there. Then that became krodha. All right, krodha. Then mother. How can my mother do this to me? Mother. What does she think of me? She's not validating my needs. Mother. Matsarya, jealousy. If somebody else is getting, look how they are having a better life than me and all that. So, even in the case of Bhagavan, Bhagavan is walking the path and showing us as an avatara. Anybody can have these problems. And if you have these problems, the only solution is because of these problems, you'll only try to run away. Okay. So even if it is Bhagavan, he is a punishable mistakes. He has done some errors where he needs to be, taken to task. And mom is there first. She is looking at. Actually, mom was never upset. She saw the scene and she was very concerned first, like any other mother. And then slowly she started smiling. What happened? What did he do in no time? Man, where did he get all this energy and power to do something like this? I just went to the stove and came back. And within this short time, he has destroyed the whole pots and everything. By the way, the mom was able to smile because she had all the maids. Okay? The maids are there to clean up. In America, you are the maid, you are the cook, you are the maid. Okay? So you may not be able to have this kind of attitude. All right? So here, she can easily call somebody and ask them to clean up while she is looking for the lala like that. So what I'm trying to say is, likewise, the Leela continues. This continuation of the Leela. And why did the mother smile? That is also a Leela, part of the Leela. And where is Bhagavan now? Where is he sitting? He is going and sitting on the top of a mortar, Utkala. No? Where they kind of, pound the rice or whatever they want to remove the skin. So he's sitting on the top of it. Why did he go and sit on the top of that? What was going on in Bhagavan's mind? So likewise, we got so many small sections we can inquire and bring out more and more Leela, more and more of Bhagavan's Leela for the sake of our own appreciation, recognizing and understanding, and growth as a devotee, because our hearts are getting filled, our minds are going taken away to Vrindavan, hearts are getting filled with the stories, that for that time we are able to be free from what is bothering us, over which we have our own kama, our own moha, our own lobha and all that. So that is the accomplishment of all these leelas. At least that is one of the accomplishments of all these leelas. So we'll continue seeing the leelas also when we come next week. I'd like to stop here and ask Vidyul to get ready for the concluding prayers of Swami Pratyagaatma. It's a short 2 minutes arti, and then I'll see all of you and say hello to all of you.